Okay, we're jumping right in. This is Fergus, and I'm going to take him apart and show you all the components, and then I'll show you the dies, and we will walk through die cutting and getting started with him. So first off, he has this cute little hat. Okay, there's two pieces in the brim. There's this nice little trim around, and it's just kind of cute. Next, he has a coat. There's a front and a back. I'm going to move him out of the way. There's arms, there's little hands, and then there's the back. And you'll see that I did some decorative stitching around the outside, and that's not necessary. I just thought it was fun to do. And here's this little base. So to make him three-dimensional, I kind of did a cone, and then in the bottom, it's maxed out, and the top part of this is filled with batting. The bottom part of it is filled with what's referred to as lizard litter, and that is crushed up walnut shells. Okay, and then you're going to attach his beard and his nose to the body, and that's the process. Okay, walking you through die set number 1. This is Fergus, and all of these pieces will create the entire gnome. And then there's just a picture down here of the embellishments and some of the different things that you can do to him, and I'll show you the embellishment set in a few minutes. So there are 2 separate pieces for his beard. For his body, you're going to cut 2 of these, and you'll notice on some of the dies there is a little tab. Okay, and it will tell you on there how many times you need to cut this. So this one is 2. I just wrecked my fingernail. Yuck. Okay, this round piece creates the hands and the nose, and you'll see on the little tab that it says to cut 3. Okay, and then 1 of the bases. So front and back and bottom, and the beard and the nose and hands. The next set of dies are for the coat. So there is 1 back. This is the front panel. And again, you'll see that it says cut 2. So you need 2 for the front, 1 for the back. This piece here, you're also going to cut 2 of. This creates his 2 little arms on the coat. And then we're going to stitch and then glue in his little hands. For the 3rd part, this is the hat. So this round piece here also says cut 2. So you need 2 pieces for the brim. And this weird piece here creates the peak of the hat. And so you're going to cut one of these, and then you fold it over, you stitch it down, and it creates this top part of the hat. And then this along the bottom stitches in to the dots on the inside of the brim. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's actually very easy, and I'm going to walk you through every single step of it. Okay, the last piece is this little guy, and you'll notice that there is a little rim on the hat, and here's one that's not decorated, so you could probably see it a little bit better. Okay, and it's double stitched. And then what I did, and I didn't do it on this one, but I am doing it on this one that I'm working on, I cut a second one of these, and one of them is enough to put the trim around both of the arms on the coat. Okay, so there you go. There's all the things that you need to make Fergus. Next up, there are 2 embellishment sets. There's a winter and Christmas embellishment set. There's an autumn and Halloween embellishment set. And you'll see that there are 2 gnomes that I have designed and decorated up with some of the elements, just to give you an idea. Okay, this one is all done with snowflakes. This one is all done with leaves. And on my blog and on the Spellbinders blog, I have designed and created 7 of these, and there's pictures of them all over on both of those blogs. Okay, let's break down all these little dies, and I have die cut all of them out of different pieces of felt. These are all the different colors from Spellbinders, and we will get into the felt in just a minute. So there's a bunch of different ways that you could add all of these elements, and you can interchange them between the 2 sets. And here's just some of the ways that I've used them on the 7 or so gnomes I've made already. These 2 layered create this cute little sunflower. There's a button that goes over top. Then you can use a couple of the leaves, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different kinds of leaves. There are 4 different flowers. So we've got the poinsettia over here, or you can make that a large sunflower if you wanted to. There's 2 sizes of this little round flower. one with 5 petals, one with 4, and again, the sunflower that we already spoke of. For Halloween, a spider web and a spider. Wait till you see my Halloween one. He is really cool. I love this skull. I'm working on a Day of the Dead one with this one. Of course, a pumpkin, you can make it in any color you want. And a couple of bats. There's some stars. I'm going to do these in yellow and do kind of a midnight mysterious gnome. Here's the buttons in a few different sizes. Here's the poinsettia, and here is a bunch of the snowflakes, and those are the ones that I used for this little guy. And again, there were some little tiny white buttons that I think Spellbinders brought in, and I used those for the center. And when I get the gnome back, I'll do a close-up and show him to you. For fall, if you don't like the sunflowers, there's also a bunch of different fall leaves, and you can stitch those all the way around. And that's what was used on this little guide that shows in the printed form for the autumn and Halloween embellishments. So a really good selection. You could also use these little guys for Easter. Make them into the pastel colors and decorate him for Easter. And I did this little branch thinking that they would go on them, and you could go around the coat with that little branch and then add all your pretty pastels, and that would make a cute spring or Easter gnome. All right. Let's talk about felt for just a minute. Spellbinders has felt, just in case you didn't know that. It is 100% merino wool. There are 10 8x12 sheets in each of the sections, 10 colors in each one. And I think I'm missing 1 or 2, but this is how they come packaged. And you'll see there is a bunch of different colors in each one. And here is one of the squares. And I also wanted to show you that these new stash stacks that Spellbinders just came out with are perfect for storing the felt. Okay, so this is the squatty one, and a package of felt works in there absolutely no problem. Then this one is a little bit deeper. This is the medium size one, I think. And this one is great for all of your pieces. Okay, this is a great place to keep all of your pieces because these little guys are really good for cutting out all of the little tiny embellishments. So don't throw out those little pieces. They really are worth having. And one more thing. I end up cutting a lot of extra embellishments when I've been working on these guys, and the craft stacks work super for holding these. So here are a bunch of little pieces. I could probably make 2 or 3 gnomes out of what's in here, but this is left over from the 7 that I made for Spellbinders and sent down to them for doing photos and taking to the trade shows. Okay, so let's get into cutting this. The first thing I want to show you is the new handle on my Platinum 6. Spellbinders just came out with this, and they sent one to me to play with, and it has a little hinge on it, as you can see, so that you can lay it flat on your table. But what happens is you get a whole bunch more torque out of this because it is so much longer. But the one thing you have to do is you have to pull this to the edge of your table because this handle goes down over the edge and around. And this is worth doing because it makes cutting so much easier. You don't feel like you're cutting anything at all with this thing. It is amazing. So if you haven't tried one of these yet, or if you haven't seen one, give it a go. I highly recommend it. All right, so I'm going to pull this back, and I'm going to pull in. I've already cut some of the pieces. And so what you have to do with this long piece, 8.5 by 11, to get it to go through your Platinum 6, you have to fold it in half, and then you have to cut it. And then it will fit through. And so what I've done here is I have the body on this one. So I've got the 2 pieces for the main part of the body, the bottom, and then there's the 2 strips for the embellishing, came out of this light blue. For the darker blue, I have the back of the coat, one of the sides, one of the brim of the hat, and one of the arms. So that's there. And then what I'm going to cut now is the top part of the hat, the other half of the front of the coat, the second part of the brim of the hat, and the second arm. And you're going to use the same sandwich as you've always used. Bear with me, and sorry, but mine's in kind of bad shape because I use it all day long. You've got your A platform base. You've got your B platform top, okay? you've got a cutting pad, one of the clear ones, and then you've got your felt, all of your dies, and then you're going to put the second cutting plate over, and that's your sandwich to go through the machine. Now I have to pull mine over here, and unfortunately my camera's not going to show me doing this, but I'm cranking it through. And what I like to do is I like to get all the way to the end, and then don't let it bounce. Okay, turn it back and go through again, and this will ensure that you get a really good cut, and all those little dots are going to come out of your felt. Okay, so when you take your dies off, then your felt just pops up, and then you've got all these little circles, and you just want to pop the little circles out. It does make a little bit of a mess on your table, but it's easy to clean up. I just swipe it all into my garbage can once I'm done. And I do like to poke all of these out so that I can see where I'm going. But that's how you die cut, and you can get one Fergus out of 2 pieces of felt, because you're going to have your hat and your coat out of one color, and you're going to have your body out of the other.